Hi guys, so welcome back. It's been such a long time since I have been uploading videos and keeping updates with you guys and all that stuff. There's been a lot of things that has been happening, being a stay-home mom while Mark goes to work, and so I don't know where I should start because there's just a lot. Sum everything up, I moved back home, and just in case something happens, I made the decision to move back home. That way, if something does happen, I do have help at home because I do live with my mom, my grandma, and my cousin them. But it's a lot more safer for me to be at home. Forwarding to moving back home, this was in the early September. Mia hasn't made a month yet, so Mia has gone through so much changes and, obstacles. So Mia had a diaper rash. We fixed that problem. Mia does not like wet diapers at all, even if it's she does not like wet diapers. She does not like when she poops. She can feel the moisture. That's just how babies are, I guess. Mia is also a very, very light sleeper. I don't know where she gets that from, but she definitely is a light sleeper. Anything that she hears, like a door opening, closing the window, or like maybe not too much of flushing down the toilet, but anything that is close to her, she can hear, and she'll wake up and she would cry, and you would just try to have to put her back to sleep. Mia has also visited her doctor, her pediatrician, between the month of September. So she had her first newborn checkup. So that had a physical, also, trying to get to know the baby a little bit more, background during when I was pregnant. So nothing was a concerning during my pregnancy, except I was, diabetic. So I had to kind of just say like I was diabetic, but everything was under control. I had to watch what I eat, also monitor through glucose tests. So that was good. The second doctor visit that Mia had was due to sensitivity of her milk. So a lot of times Mia can go through so much phases where she feels totally fine, and a couple days later she's freaking out like someone is like hurting her, which no one is hurting her. It's just how baby would react to certain things. So from the hospital, of course, they start you off with Similac Advance. Pro and Advance are totally the same. I was told by her doctor that it does not matter if you're giving Pro or just regular Advance. It's just a newer version, I guess, or they supplement another thing in there, or they take out something from the ingredients. So there's nothing different from it. So Mia has been on that Similac Advance since she was born, and then I stopped. I'm trying to fully remember why, but from the recalls from Mark, he said that Mia's belly would be super tense. Now, I don't know how a belly should feel on a newborn, but to the doctor said that it should be at least like that nice and plushy, squishy feeling. And Mia was the total opposite. Her stomach was like it was firm, hard. She would like clench her legs back, so her knees to her stomach, and she would cry in pain. And the cry is the cry that they turn like a tomato. They actually have tears coming out. So that's how severe. We had to, really get that checked out, change her formula. So that second time when I went, and doctor told us that maybe she is sensitive to cow's milk. I'm lactose. I don't know if it's genetic that she can get it, but who knows. But the Advance had a good concentration of cow's milk. And so he told me that maybe she's allergic to cow's milk. You have the option to change your formula to sensitive, Similac Sensitive, or Similac Soy. So the difference between them two is just there are traces of milk in Sensitive along with soy. And soy is just soy. It's just plant-based soy, organic. After her appointment, I went to Walmart and purchased the Sensitive, thinking, okay, maybe I should try the Sensitive first before I give her the soy. I tried it only for 4 days. Now, I should have just went ahead and just tried it strictly straight for at least 2 weeks or so. That if she can tolerate Sensitive, Similac Sensitive, again, it does have traces of milk, but they're breaking down, and they're also soy. There's also soy in it. So I gave Mia that milk, Similac Sensitive, for 4 days. Her reaction to it, she would drink it because it's kind of normal to her, but then it just became so weird that she would just keep crying and crying. And this time she's not really, I would say, hesitating to drink it. She would drink it. And that time I was feeding her 2 or 3 ounces every 2 to 3 hours. So then I was like, okay, maybe she's still yet, maybe she can't tolerate it. So I switched her after 4 days. She had an appointment the next day. So I switched her immediately to soy. And there's a pro and con with soy. I noticed Mia has been on Similac Soy for the past 2 weeks. And from October 2nd to October 17th. So this is just recently that I stopped. So between that 2 weeks, she became a lot calmer. So this is the pros. She got calmer. She still had the regular urination, all that stuff. But the cons to that, another pro was her stomach was soft, squishy, nice, and fluffed. I mean, the cons about it was that she became so constipated, and I only noticed when I gave her for the first week, and after the first week it just got worse. She got so constipated, she would cry, but she would never clench her legs up to her stomach. She would just cry, and she would, it was kind of like force feeding her that she had to eat it because she had no choice to eat soy, drink soy. There's one time where I noticed that she hasn't been pooping all the time, and so I mentioned it to her doctor, and her doctor said that as long as they can go within the 5 days, because after 5 days, there has to be something wrong if she's not pooping within 5 days. So Mia has been pooping every other day, but when I notice when she poops every other day, she poops, it's in a ball, and it's kind of like clay-like, Play-Doh type, and this poop does not stay on the diaper. It stays on her butt. She's screaming, she's just having a fit. I'm just like, oh my god, this gotta be the issue. The issue is the milk. She can tolerate soy, but not long term because she can't use the bathroom. So her doctor told me that if you decide to just stick with soy, that is totally up to you. If she can tolerate it and she still can go to the bathroom, pooping once a day is totally fine. But if you are concerned, go back or try out Similac Sensitive. Again, I only tried for 4 days, and I didn't really give much time for it. So 2 weeks, I'm giving Mia 2 weeks to adjust to Similac Sensitive. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that this is the milk that's gonna stick with her. And so, you know, my WIC covers for her Similac soy, I already picked up her nine cans. So it's pretty much a waste. And you know, it's kind of sad because I kind of wish that I would have just sticked to, you know, Sensitive, and you know, find out the clues and, you know, the pros and cons, if she really likes it or not. So that time when I brought Mia to the doctor's, she weighed 9 pounds 10 ounces and about close to 22 inches long. So she's growing, she's learning, and I'm just so like in shock that wow, babies do really grow that fast. And she has grown out of some of her newborn clothes, and now she's wearing 3-month-old clothes. So it's getting surreal, and it's getting like, oh my god, like she's growing so well, and you know, she's getting so big. Another thing I wanted to mention was that I had to change bottles. So that's another thing. Bottles and milk, you know, formula, it's so expensive. Everything about babies are so expensive, so prepare yourself. In my previous videos, when you guys see me holding Mia and stuff, we use the Dr. Brown's. I stopped using the Dr. Brown's during the time I seen her doctor. Her doctor said he doesn't favor those because there's just too much you need to clean. There's compartments that you need to take out and clean it, sanitize it, and then put it back together. That was a pain in the butt, the Dr. Brown's. But the good thing about Dr. Brown's is bottles, they have that colic little thing that's in the bottle. So I stopped using that because thinking, you know, that's just too much work. I switched over to Avent, which I think it's pronounced Avent, but I don't care. Avent. So she has been using the 4 ounces, the little baby bottles, the little 4 ounces baby bottles. And nipple size, she is now currently on size 1. I had to put her on the newborn because her doctor said she cannot have any spill out. That causes her to, you know, spit out, and she's not getting in the liquids into her mouth. So I had to switch to newborns and kind of poke the hole a little bit more because that is actually for preemies, newborns, and I kind of want that nice flow for her. I didn't want her to be sucking on the nipple for like a long time, and you know, she's getting tired and she's gonna fall asleep on the nipple. So I had to do that. It worked fine, but I did have to switch over to size 1 because she's like a month old. But yeah, I had to change that, and now I'm back to Dr. Brown's. So we're gonna try that colic thing again and see if that would help with her colic. I'm trying to remember again because this whole memory thing about me is just out of the box. Like, it's out the window. I don't remember anything. So I had to tell Mark, like, do you remember when we used the Dr. Brown bottles? Like, did they really work? Like, was she a lot more calmer or whatnot? And he said, well, she did seem like, you know, she was a lot calmer. But again, it's been so long that I tending to forget everything. Another thing too, Mia does not like to be burped sitting upwards. I try to, you know, alternate shoulder and on my lap. That way she doesn't feel like she's always on the lap doing, you know, her burping session. But Mia does take a very, very long time to burp. If not, she won't burp at all. Usually the first or second feeding after, like in between, because you have to feed in between, she does burp, but it's so faint sometimes. If not, she won't burp at all. But she does burp. It just takes a while, like a very long time. So that's my only concern too, because once the air is trapped in, like, it's probably harder for the baby to burp it out. But I still have anxiety till this day, and it sucks, and I don't like the feeling at all. I don't like how my daughter can be very uncomfortable, because if I'm uncomfortable, I hate it. So it goes both ways. So, you know, it sucks. So I'm gonna cut this video short, and yeah, I'm gonna be heading out to town. I'm already in town, so I'm gonna have to do a couple things. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video again, and leave me comments, reach out to me if you want to, give me some insight on anything, burping tips, bottle tips, anything, stomach tips for babies' formulas, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I'll see you guys in my next video.